Are you addicted to your phone? And if you are, how can you cut it back? If you check your phone hundreds of times a day, does that mean that you are addicted? The evidence is still very unclear. Some call it an addiction, others wouldn't qualify it as such. But here's what is happening. Addiction or not addiction. Life has become increasingly dependent on, subject to, and controlled by our devices. There is really no refuting this statement. Think about, well, you're probably watching this on a mobile device right now. Think about the many areas of our lives. It would be either social, work, entertainment. The window to all of those areas of our lives is now available through our phone. So, of course, it is very much expected that we will be connected to our screens often. Of course, it's not all bad. Adam Alter, a marketing and psychology professor at New York University's Stern School of Business, said that sometimes smartphones make us happier. They reach and connect us to other people, which is very much true. I am happy I'm connected here with you right now. But does the overuse and overdependence qualify as addiction? And we know some, not us, we know some people who probably have a problem of overuse and overdependence, right? Overuse is experienced by us in many ways. You have probably spent more time scrolling through social media more than you intended or more than it was actually reasonable. You probably binge watched too many reels on TikTok videos, and time goes just so fast. The other day I was looking at some of this Instagram reels, and 15 minutes later I was still there, like 15 minutes of my life that has just gone. Extremely addictive. Well, we don't know if it's addictive, do we? You probably have watched many hours of YouTube, you name it. The challenge, though, is that you have also probably neglected parts of your life or important personal goals because you were hooked to your screen doing something that added absolutely no value to your life or no value to your future life. It may have added value to your immediate life. It may have fed your dark horse, which we talk a lot about, but not fed your future self, the self that needs most help from you. And that's what we are talking about, is when you are so immersed in the now because of these technologies that offer us the opportunity of entertainment and satisfaction immediately, that we neglect our future self, the self that we should be nurturing, the self that we should be being the stewards of. Whatever activity you engage in these technologies may make you feel good at that moment. It disconnected you from the real world for a moment. It gave some satisfaction or happiness. It gave you this thing that I think is very important. It's our ability to not judge ourselves. It's called cognitive narrowing. If you're doing something hard, particularly things that will add value to our future, they're often hard. So if you're writing a letter, if you're writing a book, whatever, it's hard. So what does the brain do? It goes into this cognitive narrowing approach in which you focus on things that bring immediate pleasure, and that makes you refrain from judging yourself and engaging self-evaluation. It's absolutely crazy. But however, these activities have no benefit for your long-term life, your future self, like we talked about. As per the American Psychiatric Association's official manual of mental disorders, screen overuse is still not considered as an addiction. But you decide. Remember that the manual of mental disorders is periodically updated, and it's not because it's not there today that it's not going to be there in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from now when they revise it. Dr. Anna Lembecki, an addiction expert and a professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Stanford University, stated on a New York Times article that there's a growing number of mental health specialists who recognize that people can get addicted to their smartphones. So think about this. Even though it's not recognized by the American Psychiatric Association in the Manual of Mental Disorders, yet there are a lot of professionals who are already considering it as addictive behavior. Dr. Lembecki gives us the 3 C's of addiction, and then you can decide it for yourself. One is control. The 3 C's of addiction. Control. Using a substance or performing a behavior like gambling, for example, in ways that would be considered out of control or much more than intended. That is kind of a check, right? Think about that. You end up using something much more than you intended to do, so you end up not having control over the device. Compulsion, being intensely mentally preoccupied with and using a substance, or performing a behavior automatically without active deciding to do so. So compulsion, this is very important. It's when you are preoccupied with using something automatically. You know, nowadays it's said that the Maslow's pyramid of human needs has changed, right? Before it was we need food, water, and we need shelter, then we need love, and then family, and then self-actualization. Now at the very bottom, it's not food and water anymore, or shelter. It's what? Wireless connection and battery power, because we have this, we are constantly attending to our devices, and sometimes we just can't control ourselves. You look at restaurants nowadays, anywhere you go, everyone is just checking. People are not connecting with each other anymore. And then the consequences, the continued use in spite of negative social, physical, or mental consequences. So you are using it knowing that it's creating a negative consequence for yourself, could be social, physical, or mental, but you're still doing it. That is another check. So at this point, when you think about the 3 C's of addiction, control, compulsion, consequence, is check, check, check. I also added a D to the C, or denial. You deny that it is controlling your life. How many of us deny that our technologies are controlling our lives? I have kids, and when you have kids, you realize that it's really almost impossible not to link screen time with some form of addictive behavior. When you analyze the 3 C's, my wife and I, we try to limit screen time considerably, but when we do allow them to use it, it gets really, really ugly. The first one is C for control, right? So they become completely out of control. There is no knowing when to stop. They just want to keep on playing and playing and playing. If you leave them, they will play the entire day. Then compulsion. The games that they play on screen are designed in such a way that it forces them to keep on thinking about it. My son plays this dinosaur game that you have to go back to nurture the dinosaur, feed the dinosaur, and all he can think about is about the damn dinosaur. So yes, it's this compulsion. You always have to go back to it. And then the consequences. If they don't give up our devices in a 1 hour stipulated time, they know that there will be consequences. Yet every day they continue to put up a fight regardless of the consequences. Even when the consequences is losing screen time the day after, they rather fight us at that time than to have to relinquish their devices. So let's be honest. A screen is not addictive. Just a screen, of course, the screen is not addictive. But what's beyond the screen is. So a screen is not addictive in its own right, but the things that we have access through the screens are highly addictive. They are designed and engineered to keep you there, to bring you back. When you leave, they want you back there. It also speaks to our most base fundamental human needs, that you need to connect, to be rewarded, to be seen, to see. So what can we do about it? First, set rules. Turn push notifications off. Leave the phone in another room. Set a specific time to use your phone. Have phone-free zones and times. For example, at home, table, having dinner, having lunch, no phone. We try hard. Sometimes it's hard, but we try as much as you can. When you feel the urge, ask, is checking my phone supporting my goal? Does it serve a purpose? Is it taking me anywhere? Or am I just here scrolling on social media for absolutely nothing? And it's not adding any value to myself, any value to my future self, any value to my goals, and in fact, it's just distracting me. In her 25 years of seeing patients, Dr. Lambicki has noticed that by the end of 1 month fast, not suggesting that you go in a 1 month fast, but the majority of her patients usually reported being less anxious, less depressive, sleeping better, having more energy, getting more done, as well as being able to look back and see in a more clear-eyed way exactly how their screen use was affecting their lives. Engage your prefrontal cortex, your charioteer. Your charioteer is the one that makes you do the right thing when that is the harder thing to do. It works on impulse control. Your dark horse will want that phone, will want it now. But your charioteer, your prefrontal cortex, is what controls it. It focuses on long-term planning, gratification postponement, Emotional regulation. Engage the prefrontal cortex, engage your charioteer, control the desire. Remember the 3 C's: control, compulsion, and consequences. And make your own analysis. If you like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe.